You're probably not stuck. Your life is just repeating. Same wake up, same habits, same thoughts, same excuses, same routine, same comfort zone. And then people wonder why nothing feels new, why they feel flat, why their life doesn't seem to change. But new thoughts usually don't come from old loops. And that's the problem. A lot of people say, I feel stuck in life. But I don't think that's the real problem most of the time. Because stuck sounds like life trapped you, like something outside of you is holding you in place. But usually, what's really happening is simpler than that. Your life is repeating. You keep feeding your brain the same inputs, same routine, environment, habits, comfort patterns, same way of thinking. And then you expect different feelings, a different energy, a different result to just show up on its own. It won't, because if the pattern stays the same, the life usually stays the same too. The loop people don't even realize that they're in. This is the scary part. A lot of people don't even realize they're in a loop because the loop feels normal. It doesn't feel like a trap. It feels like everyday life. That's why it's dangerous. You wake up the same way, reach for the same things, avoid the discomfort, think the same thoughts, push off the same goals, say tomorrow again, and slowly repetition starts feeling like identity. Now you're saying things like, I'm just not a morning person. I'm just bad with money. I'm just inconsistent. This is just how I am. No, that's not always who you are. That's often just the reversion of you that your repeated loops keeps producing. Why breaking the loop feels so weird. And here's the part people need to understand. When you try to break the loop, it's supposed to feel weird. That weird feeling is not proof that you're doing something wrong. It's proof that you're doing something unfamiliar. And that's a huge difference. Let's say someone wants to fix their sleep schedule. They've been going to bed at 2 a.m. for a long time. Waking up at 10 or 11 a.m. feels normal now. That whole pattern is familiar. So when they try to sleep at 10 p.m. and wake up at 7 a.m., their whole mind reacts. Not just their body, their mind. Now the thoughts start with, this is too early. This doesn't feel right. I'll be tired. I'll just start tomorrow. One more night won't hurt. But what's really happening? They're not hearing the truth. They're hearing the old loop defend itself. That's how loops work. They don't leave quietly. People can want change and still be loyal to the old pattern. This is one of the most important parts of the whole topic. A person can genuinely want change and still be mentally loyal to the old pattern. That's why people confuse themselves. They say, I do want better. I do want to save more. I do want to wake up earlier. I do want to stop repeating the same life. And that can all be true. But when that moment comes to act differently, the old loop feels easier, safer, and more natural. And so they fall back into it. Not because they're lying, not because they don't want better, but because the old pattern is emotionally familiar. And familiar is powerful. Example 1, sleep. Let's stay with this sleep example because it's perfect. You want to become the kind of person who sleeps earlier and wakes up earlier. That's the goal. But the problem is, your current thoughts were built around the old loop. So when 10 p.m. comes around, instead of feeling like progress, it feels too early. It feels unnatural. It feels like you're missing something. Then the phone comes out. Then the same scroll starts. Then the same late night energy comes back. Then the same bedtime happens again. That's the loop. And unless you break it repeatedly, your brain will keep proving the old version of you to itself. But once you do break it, even a few times, something interesting happens. You start getting new evidence. Now the thought becomes, okay, this does feel different. Actually, I like how this feels. Actually, I like waking up before the world. Actually, this gives me a different type of energy. That's how a new loop starts. Example 2, money. Same thing with money. Let's say someone wants to save more money. They truly want it. But they've spent months or years in the habit of buying the new shiny thing, ordering the food, giving in to the urge, justifying the purchase, saying I'll save after this. So when the new item drops or the temptation shows up, it's not just about money. It's about whether they're going to keep serving the old pattern or build a new one. And of course, the old one feels easier. The old one feels normal. The old one gives the quick hit. The old one doesn't feel awkward. Saying no feels weird at first. But weird is not bad. Weird is often the start of freedom. Because every time you say no to the old loop, you start proving, I'm not that version of me anymore. That's powerful. New thoughts come from new repetition. This is what a lot of people miss. You don't usually get brand new thinking from the exact same repeated life. If your days stay the same, your thoughts usually stay in the same range too. And that's why breaking the loop matters so much. Because new repetition creates new thoughts. Once you repeatedly wake up earlier, leave the house more, stop buying the thing, start the habit, interrupt the old pattern, do the uncomfortable thing, you start generating a different internal world, different energy, different momentum, different self-image, and different thoughts. James Clear talks about habit change as identity change. That repeated action becomes evidence for the kind of person you believe yourself to be. That's exactly what this is. You don't think your way into a new identity first, you repeat your way into it. The first few times will be the hardest, and this part needs to be said clearly. The first few reps of a new loop are almost always the hardest. That's normal. The first early nights, the first early mornings, the first time saying no, the first workout, the first time leaving the house instead of isolating, the first time doing the hard thing instead of delaying it. That's where most people quit, because they expect the new path to feel smooth too early. No, the new path feels awkward before it feels aligned. That's the cost. But if you keep repeating it, there's a moment where you feel the shift. You feel, okay, this is becoming me now. That's the moment you need to push towards. You don't need to change everything, just interrupt the pattern. Now, this doesn't mean you need to flip your entire life upside down in one day. That's where people mess up. Breaking the loop can start small. It can be sleeping 30 minutes earlier, waking up 1 hour earlier, not checking your phone first thing, saying no to one purchase, going somewhere new, doing the task you keep avoiding for 20 minutes, taking a walk instead of staying in the same room. The point is not perfection. The point is interruption. Because once you interrupt the old pattern, you give life a chance to become something else. How to actually apply this? Ask yourself 3 questions. What loop am I living in right now? Be honest. Is it your sleep, your spending, your mindset, your routine, your avoidance? What thought keeps protecting the old loop? This is too early. This is too hard. This won't matter. I'll start tomorrow. Find the thought. What is one rep that breaks the loop today? Not next week, not someday, today. That's how you change. Not by waiting for life to feel different, by making one repeated part of it different. So no, you're probably not stuck. Your life is just repeating. And that should actually make you feel hopeful. Because if your life is repeating, then the answer is not impossible. It's simple. Break the loop. Do the thing that feels a little off, a little awkward, a little uncomfortable. Because that discomfort is often the signal that you're finally stepping outside of what you've been keeping the same. And if you stay with it long enough, something beautiful happens. You stop living the same day over and over, and you start building a new one. Not because life magically changed, but because you finally stopped repeating it. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you guys do enjoy the video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to this channel for more content. Thank you guys so much. It's your boy Anthony,